Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video we'll be going over Deadlock's newest brand new major update, Old Gods and New Blood. Now this update is of course the biggest update Deadlock has gotten. Of course the last one was the August update, and this update really blows that one out the water in terms of content to play around with. Of course, as the major new additions we got was 6 new heroes, which we got in August, of course, but we also got a brand new game mode, Street Brawl, which we'll talk about, base improvements and upgrades, 2 new items, and revamped UI and things like that, which we'll be discussing and giving my opinions overall of this update and where we're heading in the future this year for Deadlock in 2026. So starting off, we're gonna go over the new game mode, Street Brawl, which personally is a fantastic addition to the game. It has really added that sort of more casual, laid back aspect to the game that a lot of people want, as Deadlock as a game does put some people off due to being a MOBA. They see the cool characters, they see the gameplay and the fighting, and they want to enjoy it, but then they realize, oh, it's a MOBA. I don't really want to deal with the macro aspects and the economy aspects. It takes a long time, and and they get a bad impression from League of Legends and Dota, of course, in terms of how toxic MOBAs can be, which still is true for Deadlock, of course. But if you wanted a more casual, shorter experience, Street Brawl is there for you. It's great for new players, it's great for experienced players as well, as it lets, you know, new players experience heroes that they have not played, lets them try out abilities without having to sit and wait in like a 40-minute match. They get to try out items that they may not buy on heroes, and they can test things out. It's like I said, shorter as well, which is good for more experienced players. If you don't want to deal with a 40-minute game, jump into Street Brawl. You get a quick, maybe max 20-minute game, and you can just shout fight. You know, you don't have to deal with the aspects of the general standard mode of Deadlock or as a MOBA. So it is a very fun, good addition to the game. Lets you pick from random items in a set of 3 every round, lets you upgrade your abilities. It's a 4-on-4 in where the objective is to take out the enemy's guardian for 2 rounds, and then the final round, in order to win, you need to defeat the enemy's walker. There are certain heroes that are stronger in the mode, which does kind of affect balance, as some people will try and queue them every time, or whatnot, but you have the ability to randomize your hero, which makes it a bit more fun. You'll be playing characters you wouldn't normally play, and you get a bonus as well. You get an extra reroll of your items for the first couple rounds if you do have random heroes selected. So in addition, like, it is a fantastic game mode to be added to the game. If you wanted to play a more casual, fast-paced mode, then rather sit through 40 minutes or as a new player having to deal with a character you may not like and getting stomped. So great addition all around. I hope they continue supporting it with a few balance changes here and there, adding new unique items, as the game mode does have unique items in terms of enhanced items, which are just the basic items, but they have their stats giga buffed essentially, as it can almost double or even triple some of the stats on the existing items, making them very strong. They also have legendary items which appear later on, which are items solely unique to Street Brawl, which are very fun. You've got ones from a piano, which is an AoE stun, basically knockdown, but if they get stunned, they're getting stunned for like 4 seconds. It's very strong. They also have unstable concoction, which gives you a big buff to your health and damage, but after a certain amount of time, which I think is like 3 seconds, you explode, and the damage you deal is based on your health. Very silly item, very fun item. Yeah, the game mode is very fun and silly, even if some people may take it quite seriously. by picking the best heroes in it. But regardless of that, definitely if you are new, if you're new to Deadlock and want to try it out, Street Brawl is a great place to start. Matchmaking might not be too kind, maybe, because of just Deadlock's matchmaking is not great even across the entire rank system. But give it a try. See if you like the heroes, see if you like the gameplay. I'll say, you know, Deadlock is a very addicting game. It's very, when you get those good moments where you kill someone in a, you know, a crucial 1v1 or just wipe a team using a certain ability or whatever, the game keeps you hooked, keeps you engaged, and will keep you locked in, basically, in terms of wanting to play it more, right? I can have games of terrible losses back to back going, you know, massively negative, getting 1 or 2 kills and dying 10 times because I'm playing Drifter, as an example. Please buff Drifter. But then you have that game where you play a hero you're a bit more comfortable on or something like that, and then you start getting insane fights, you get fed, and you feel like a god, and you feel amazing. Those are the reasons why you stick around. So, yeah. I hope Street Brawl continues to get supported. I hope there's also maybe other game modes, as it will definitely enhance the more casual player base, as they'll have more things to play other than the MOBA mode. I think having a good amount of support for Street Brawl, or having another side game mode in addition to Street Brawl, will definitely help Deadlock thrive in the more casual community. As a lot of the more hardcore will, you know, probably stay with the MOBA mode, the standard mode. But if anyone just wants to play, have fun, then they can play the alternate modes, which I'm sure in the future they probably will do, as Dota has a few game modes and things like that. So, you know, there's no leaks on it or anything at the moment, but I'm hoping in the future they continue to expand the alternate modes of the game. So next we have the map rework, or map additions, mainly the base reworks, I would say. The Amber Hand and Sapphire Flames of before have been renamed and changed to the Hidden King and Archmother. Both very cool designs. Visually, of course, one is more like chaos sort of themed, has the theming of a lot of oranges, reds, and fire, right? The Hidden King side, and then you have the Archmother, which is like more purity, more clean, has whites, has blues, you know, very contrasting colors and designs, of course, for the patrons, rather than this their old round selves that they were before. You know, not great, but they were temporary, of course. In addition, the troopers got changes to reflect the side. The Hidden King has candles, whereas the Archmother has like chess piece looking designs for the troopers. So having things feel more distinct, more stylized, adds way more to the game. With every single update that Valve does to this, they are really showing that they know exactly what they want the game to be stylistically now. From these base designs, from the new heroes, which we'll get into just a bit, they are really in their stride in terms of what they want the game to be visually. We got a sight of that with the hideout in the August update, as well as the map changes in August. Mainly the lighting, it felt so much better with the current lighting on the map. The old light, if you look at gameplay of Deadlock before the August update, you know, the lighting of the map was very bright, it was during the day, sunny. It looks very low quality, but that August update really changed visually how Deadlock looks. And I'll go into sort of a comparison between this update and the August update at the end, But moving on from the bases, we have the 6 new heroes. I'm going to go over just a brief overview of what the heroes are, but you can, look at other guides for their abilities and stuff, as this video would take a bit too much time for me to go over every single one. But we had the voting again from last August, where the player base could play games and vote for the order of heroes that would get released. Slightly different from August, where Mina got released first. They picked Mina and then we voted for the next 5. With this new update, we didn't get a hero on release. We had to wait a few days after the update for the first hero, which was Rem, who is a support character, focuses on healing and having little helpers around the map that can do like side quests and help him out and stuff. So Rem, I would say, good addition. Any new support is pretty good, as it helps share, expands the roster that's been pretty small, I would say, for the most part, as we've only really had Kelvin and then Paige. Of course there's like Dynamo, McGuinness, Viscous as sort of Ivy, I guess, is like semi-support, but a lot of people kind of go into damage, have a bit more like, they go support, but they also have a bit of damage on the side just to hold their own. But in terms of like pure supporting of the team, it's been quite small set with just like Kelvin and Paige. So having another addition with Rem, of course, as well. Rem is a small little creature, meaning he gets access to new tunnels in the map. They've opened like little grates in the map where you can sneak under. Only Rem and Calico in cat form, in Ava, can actually go in these vents, but they let you traverse the map quicker. But they have like boxes down there that like only they can access. So if you see a Rem and a Calico have more money, more souls than other people, then most likely they've been in the tunnels for a bit, as they have full reign of those entire box set down there. So yeah, Rem, pretty good addition. He got voted first, probably because he was cute. And even though I'm not really a support player, he's still a cool addition to the game. All of them are cool additions to the game. I'm not going to be like, oh, this character is the worst thing. Like, if they added Hayes in now, I would say awful decision, But in terms of these new ones, yeah, they can be quite strong. Example Celeste, which we'll get to. In general, I'm not going to be opposed to cool new designs that, have unique abilities and do unique things. Of course, it helps expand the game in roster size, in who to play as and who to play against, and expands the world as well, as they come with unique stories and interactions. So I'm not opposed to adding, unless the design is really bad. For the most part, I'm not, fussed about certain hero designs and things like that. Next that was voted was Graves. I was surprised she got voted second. I was voting for Graves. I was voting for Graves initially. I thought Graves would be my favourite of the bunch, but that changed. Graves is sort of is described as an area denial character, which is true, of course. She can summon skulls and has a line attack that can immobilize. And of course her ultimate is very strong. She summons a gravestone that summons ghouls that walk down a lane and attack objectives. She's a strong split pusher, requiring focus onto her and the tombstone, as it can cause a lot of disruption. If you're trying to fight for another objective on the map, like you're trying to defend one objective or do earn or something like that, and then Graves is on the other side of the map with a tombstone up, she's going to cause issue, because those ghouls are going to go straight for that walker or your base or whatever, and do some significant damage. So she is a unique hero in terms of she is a summoner, but she is very kind of squishy. She doesn't have a ton of health. She doesn't have that much stamina to begin with, and she's close range. Like, she has a very close range weapon. It is auto aim, so you just need to aim and hold the mouse button in the general area of an enemy for it to do damage. But she can get kind of blown up if you kind of jump her and she doesn't have, you know, help to get her out. So like, I thought she would be my favourite. I still like her, but I find it kind of hard with characters with very little range. I said Graves likes to be in sort of a close range aspect due to her weapon. Similar to like Drifter, I guess, was he has, you know, doesn't have, his weapon just falls off. It just doesn't do any damage apart after a certain amount of range. Whereas like other characters, their bullets will hit, but you know they won't do like any damage. It doesn't feel great to be that close range, especially as someone quite squishy with not much mobility. She can definitely feel rough to play sometimes, but she is strong in chaotic fights when she's not focused. The skulls and the ghouls can do a lot of damage in a very hectic team fight. So I said she's one of my favorites of the new bunch, but she is not my favorite that I have chosen, as that changed with someone else. After Graves, Silver then got added in. She's a sort of a hybrid hero in that she does like she has a human form, and then she has an ultimate that lets her transform into a werewolf. Her human form isn't that strong. It can still put out some okay damage, but its entire purpose is to build up your wolf form with your ultimate, and then once you get your wolf form, you just by doing damage, it builds up, and then you can transform. Gives you entirely new set of abilities, gives you resistance, gives you bonus health when you transform, so lets you, if you're low on health and you manage to transform in time, you get a buff in health, some bonus health. So she's not my type of character, as she's quite difficult to play in human form, and if you don't do enough damage in human form, you don't get wolf form, and it just means you don't really do much if you kind of just get blown up. So even though she's probably the main, like the frontliner tank type character, she's a unique type in that she has to build up to it. But when she does get wolf form, she is very strong. She can put out a lot of damage and she can tank a lot of damage. But she's not my type of character in terms of having to build it up and deal damage just to get that. I would rather be the tank from the get-go. So, but my personal least favourite of the bunch, but it is a unique type of character, a transformation ability, which they've always probably wanted to do. For example, Shiv used to have a transform ability, but that was scrapped. So they've recycled that, which they always do. Valve likes to take old ideas that are either, you know, recently or even years old, and then bring it back for something else. And Silver is that. Afterwards, the fourth hero added was Venator, which I did not expect Venator to be my favourite of the bunch, but he is. Of course, Venator was leaked last year alongside the August heroes as Priest, of course. That was his code name. So his kit is quite basic, but he just seems so fun to play, as he is like the most, you know, the M1 carry, but he has that emphasis on building weapon damage, as basically he has no spirit scaling. The only spirit scaling he has is his trap, which is his 3. If someone walks into it, they get immobilized. And he gets spirit and bullet resist based on his spirit. Then that's it. He doesn't gain any extra damage on any of his other abilities, as they all scale from weapon damage. He also has a unique mechanic of pure damage, meaning it ignores all resistances. So you can't, you know, reduce it with bullet or spirit or melee or anything like that. This is on his grenade with the damage over time, and his ultimate, which is on his final crossbow shots. After the first two are just weapon damage, but then the final one is considered blessed, which does the weapon damage, but then an extra blessed damage which ignores resist, of course, and which if you max his ultimate all the shots, all his crossbow shots will be blessed, meaning they just do an extra 200 damage or more each. I said, even though he's like the most M1 carry character, he has a bit more of emphasis on abilities which you can build into, right? And he has a weird... It's not like you don't build... It's not like you would build him pure gun. I see a lot of people build Venador just on his gun. They build active reload, burst fire, lucky shot, all stuff that just affects his main weapon. But that's not really buffing his abilities. His abilities do a lot of damage. When you hit them, of course. So building just items that do build weapon damage makes him feel really good. He's quite slow as well, so he's more of like a stand your ground, do a lot of damage for abilities type of character, which in some ways he feels like a gun version of 7, right? Of course they're very different. 7 has a lot more AoE in terms of his lightning ball is a big AoE that you don't have to hit in order to do AoE damage. You can just throw it down a lane and stuff. His 2 is a stun, but it's a very easy stun on 7 compared to Vendor, where you need to be next to a wall. The 3 is completely different, of course, but 7 has way more area control with way more AoE, and then 7's always massive, and just requires you to press the button, you do a ton of damage in a big area of effect. Whereas Vendor requires more precision shots to do big damage, but it's like the carry character that has a bit of emphasis on abilities rather than just pure gun like a Haze or a Wraith, right? Or even Mirage, right? Where basically the entire point of them is to just do damage with your gun. I like the more hybrid type aspect of using your abilities while shooting. So he feels very fun in that way. That's probably why I like him so much. Being this sort of, not just being a carry character, but not just a pure gun character. Since he's like 7, where you also use your abilities a lot rather than just using your gun. Bonus points the fact that he is a gun-wielding priest that smokes, which is a guaranteed hit design on anything in any game, right? Valve has already made a gun-wielding priest before, and he's already an amazing character. Let's make a second one. Yes, amazing. Venador is my favourite of the new lot. I am very happy to have him in the game finally, as I have now found a third main to play. After Venador, we have Celeste, which came out to be the most overpowered one of the bunch. Very strong, does a ton of spirit damage, has a personal shield, has unique movement in that she's way more floaty, has less gravity, has 4 stamina. She's very strong. Celeste is very strong. Of course, she's got a few nerfs, but the amount of damage Celeste can put out in a team fight with her 30, her 1, she can have insane sustain due to her lifesteal on her 1. Having a personal shield that, if broken, does damage and silence, and her ultimate that just tears apart people if they get close to each other because it bounces between them. Celeste is very strong when she came out, but she's fun to play purely due to her unique movement. Even though she's very hard to lock down because of that, she's like Mina, where she can do a lot of damage, but then has very good escape options due to her 4 stamina, more floatiness in terms of movement, and a shield. And a lot of sustain as well. I have enjoyed playing her. So if you like the spirit nuke type of playstyle, Celeste is for you. So definitely give her a try. Has been toned down, but she's still pretty strong. Celeste is still very strong, and unless they really do something to gut her, she'll be strong for a decent amount of time, I would think. And then finally Apollo. No one wanted to vote for Apollo. Apollo came in dead last. Sorry, Apollo voters, but the hero you got, very cool. Very movement, like Celeste, but in a different way. Celeste's mobility is just basic stamina, right? But Apollo's abilities focus way more on like him moving. Of course, the first one, he does like a backflip after he does the damage. His 2 is a parry that then dashes forward, which you can use to either hit someone and stun them, or use to get out. And then he has his 3, which he dashes forward and does damage, but has like a quick time event where if you time it properly, it does more damage. And then there's like a big straight line attack damage ult, which is very cool. That if you hit multiple people and then it goes off and then you just see someone just die, it's very satisfying, very cool to use. His ultimate is one of the coolest in the game. I wish they changed, updated the animations a little bit, because it does look a little bit unfinished, but I'm sure it will get updated at some point to make it feel a bit more fluid and things like that. But in general, these new heroes, I think, are way more unique, way more focused than the ones in August. I personally like more of these heroes in this update than the August update, as with the August update, I really only play 2 heroes now. I really only play Drifter and Victor. But with this new lot, I would probably play at least 4 of them. I would play Venator a lot. I would play Graves, Celeste, Apollo, a decent amount as well. Rem, not so much, and Silver as well. I wouldn't really play that much. They're not really my thing. But like 4 out of 6 is pretty good. They're way more focused, way more designed. Animations are very good. Yeah, this batch of heroes, super good. I really do enjoy them. They definitely have a lot more creativity put into them in terms of some of their abilities and kits. So, and they will be fan favorites for a lot of people, I would think. Yeah, I think they did a really good job on these 6 heroes. Not to downplay the ones in August, of course, but they were very, very good. So moving on from the heroes, of course, we've had like revamped UI and post game. You can see like there's MVPs and key players and stuff like that. The UI got changed, so the top of the match screen, as you can see, you have critical states when someone's low health. They have like a damaged state, which is very fun to see some of the damage states characters, or even the kill streak ones. If someone hits a 3 or higher kill streak, they get a gloating icon, which you can see, which also some of them are very funny and very cool. So all this stuff just adds on to the stylization of this game, really makes it feel way more unique and interesting to look at, of course. One thing with the reactive portraits and the kill streak, when I was playing Overwatch recently, as they did another big update themselves, they released 5 heroes, when going on a kill streak, you know, of course you like get the on fire thing in Overwatch. I was half expecting my icon on the leaderboard or the scoreboard to change, but it didn't happen because I was so used to it happening in Deadlock. That's, you know, like I'm just always thinking about this game. So yeah, great work there, of course. Additional map changes in terms of visuals. The room above mid-boss got changed. The green part got changed. The garage, the subways, of course the bases as well, as you can see in this game, and things like that have been updated and amazing. Like the art team at Valve doing a amazing job in terms of updating the map and getting new details and rooms in, which will continue across more updates across the year and the years. Of course, they will continue to add on to the map even after this is like finished somewhat, like everything's been updated. I'm sure they'll change layouts and things like that. So yeah, we also got 2 new items. We have a tier 3, both a weapon, but we have a tier 3 weapon item called Ballistic Enchantment, which lets you an imbue ability with increased range. This is the first and only weapon imbue ability or item so far. So you imbue an ability with extra range, and if you deal damage with that ability, you get increased weapon damage per the amount of people you hit. Quite strong on a lot of heroes, and is a good addition to the game, as it's just any new item lets more diversity in builds, and consideration in whether you want to take this new item over something else previously or whatever. And then there was a tier 2 weapon item called Recharging Rush that, after dealing a significant amount of weapon damage, will replenish a charge on one of your charged abilities. So take for example 7, right? You have Recharging Rush on 7, you throw a lightning ball, you deal a certain amount of weapon damage just with your gun, you get an extra ball back faster than waiting for it to recharge. It's a very good item on characters that need that require that have access to charge abilities. This is great on like Grey Talon. It can be good on Vindicta. It's great on Venator. You can use it on Graves as well. Very good 2 new items to the game. They're definitely synergize more with abilities rather than just pure M1 gun related stuff. So yeah, overall this update has been very, very good. The one thing I will say with this update, in compared to August update, right, as sort of a last thing, of course this has way more content. It has Street Brawl, it has the same amount of 6 new heroes, it has more visual updates and things like that, base redesigns and whatnot, 2 new items. It feels slightly different in a way, as the August update, if you, like I said, compare the before the August update last year to when it came out, it felt so drastic. Like the map looked so much brighter, of course, and now it's like the sunset night time aspect of the map, as well as the hideout as well. You didn't have like a hub area to play around, and you just had the main menu. So what I'm trying to really kind of say between, if you told me to like rank which update is better, this new one in January or the August one, gameplay wise, of course it's this new one. There's the same amount of content in terms of heroes. There's still 6 new heroes, and there's a new game mode, and there's 2 new items, new bases that change the way you attack and defend them, of course. I'm going to say this update in terms of gameplay, of course, 100%. In terms of like pushing what Deadlock wants to be visually, the August one takes it 100%, because the drastic change between before August and after August last year was insane. Like crazy amount, literally just go look at any video of mine or anyone else's of gameplay before August. It feels so weird, it feels so drastic, or whatnot. But yeah, in terms of this update, fantastic though. I'm very, very pleased with it. Of course, everyone's going to be looking forward to the next update, which is maybe rumored to be around April, they're saying, but I think that's maybe a bit early, as Valve goes on company holiday in April, so I don't think we'll get one then. I think we'll get one May or June time. I think it'll still be a decent amount of time until we get a next update, next major update, which I hopefully focuses on the jungle, as I would love jungle to be updated, has more objectives, has more unique things about it, rather than the alien creatures we have for mid-boss and the jungle creeps, of course. So with that, I'm very happy with this update. Going to give us a lot of stuff to play with for a while. These characters will be fan favorites for a long time. So yeah, very happy. In general, shows even more progression and way more talent and way more like showing of the Valve team on Deadlock, how focused they are in what they're trying to make now. basically is every single time they're going to do a major update, it pretty much says, yeah, we know exactly what we're doing right now, and we're going to continue doing it, and we're going to continue experimenting and adding new crazy things to the game. But please wait, because it's going to take time between updates. But with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I said I say every video, but I really should preface it. I will hopefully try to get more gameplay videos out in between doing these like longer videos talking about updates and stuff. But either way, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.